Hi folks, Steven here. So, at a Nintendo Direct a few days ago, it was announced that the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, are going to be coming to 3DS Virtual Console. In case you've somehow missed the actual announcement, the date is February 27th, 2016, which is the 20-year anniversary of when the games originally came out in Japan, so that's, sort of why they chose that. But in any case, I was wondering if this could pave the way for getting Pokemon Stadium on the Wii U Virtual Console. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that game, it was an N64 game that essentially was there to allow you to battle Pokemon on your TV in, 3D. It's similar to what was done later with Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon Battle Revolution. And there were a variety of modes that had different, rule sets and all that kind of stuff. There's also a number of mini-games that were included, and actually whenever I go to events that have the Stadium game there, that's usually what people are doing with it. But really the main feature was there was this thing that came with it called the Transfer Pack, and you would put your Pokemon cartridge in there and plug it into the N64 controller, and what you could do is you could transfer your team from your Game Boy game to your N64 Pokemon Stadium. And in addition to just being able to transfer the Pokemon battle in there, you could also play the actual Game Boy game within Pokemon Stadium. And it had this neat little feature you could unlock where you could play at double or even triple speed. So those were some pretty nice features, but, in a way, they may have kept the game from showing up on the original Wii Virtual Console because, there wasn't anything to sort of mimic that. So the question is, now that these games are coming, the Game Boy games are coming to the 3DS Virtual Console, the question is, does that make it possible or likely that Stadium would be a viable idea? Well, there are some things in favor and some things against it. We'll start with the good points. First of all, as with the original Game Boy games coming out in a couple months, it would seem the timing is right. It would also give them an opportunity to sort of cross-promote Wii U and 3DS. And, it's probably easier on the Wii U version to go ahead and do the 2X and 3X mode in Pokemon Stadium than, maybe the 3DS can't run a Game Boy game that quickly. Now, of course, there are some obstacles. First of all, going back to the original game, that was a problem then, and, a problem now is that there's kind of limited value to Stadium unless you can do that sort of linkage. Now, the Stadium game included what are called rental Pokemon that you could use sort of to play things if you didn't have a Game Boy cartridge to work off of. But, they tended to be weaker than the ones you could make in your own game, so that was sort of a limitation there. The other thing, from a technical perspective, they would have to implement something similar to the Transfer Pack to sort of get your save data from the 3DS Virtual Console version to the Wii U. I'm sure it's possible, but it's definitely another extra step that would complicate things. The other thing that is possibly getting in the way is maybe there's not really an interest in it. What I mean by that is, there was Stadium, there was a Gold and Silver version, there was Colosseum, and then there was Battle Revolution, but for Generation 5 and Generation 6, nothing's been released and nothing seems on the horizon, so maybe they've kind of lost interest in this type of game. There's also not a ton of examples of 3DS to Wii U connectivity out there. Sort of the biggest thing I would think is the ability to use your 3DS as a controller for the Wii U version of Super Smash Brothers, And aside from that, there's been a few things where you buy the game on one of the systems, you get a code for the other, but that's kind of about it. So I wanted to enter this as a possibility. Maybe they should sort of give it away. What I mean by that is they could either give it away to Wii U owners, sort of to entice them if they have a 3DS to pick up the Virtual Console games there, or they could possibly set up some sort of bundle, with either the 3DS Virtual Console games, sort of similar to the DLC packs for Super Smash Bros. 4 that you can get that have codes for both versions of the game. The other option, of course, would be releasing early next year, Pokken Tournament. They could use that and sort of bundle in a code for Stadium in there if they wanted to. But really, I want to get your ideas here. What do you think? Is this something that could happen? If so, what do you think? All right, folks, thanks.